Going on. Welcome to another episode of the Dent Digest Live Show. Thanks for joining me on this. We got a little bit of a hurricane here in good old Maryland going on. So a little bit of rain, but I mean, I see Mike from Heavenly Hail has snow. It's just a crazy time in the world right now all over with the weather, but I can't complain because, it's been in that 60s and 70s. Weather out there, even though it's raining. So I'll deal with that. But I hope you guys are being safe. Got a little bit of allergies going on. But being safe and just keeping busy. It seemed like the hail trail kind of slowed down. A lot of guys are kind of recouping from the year. I was talking to Joey, Mr. PDR, and he's looking to getting his knee done. And it's that time of the year that guys are trying to get all their stuff together and ready for next year. Because I think next year is going to be a fantastic year. We're going to get through all this COVID stuff, and we're going to have a hail of a year next year. So that's the plan. But I do have some news. I do want to put out there that I am announcing that we are doing my second annual Black Friday marathon show with all the manufacturers. So I think it's going to be a good one. I got some really good stuff this year. So it's a lot of work. We're going to start a little earlier this year in the day, so it's not 1:00 in the morning doing a 3-hour live show. Cottonmouth. So and I've got some other news in the works that I'm going to keep you guys up on here in the next couple weeks. Some exciting news for me and for my business, and cool things for such a crappy 2020 year. But I want to get my guest on here and get going, get you guys to the goods. Got my good buddy, Mr. James. What's going on?
Hey, Ryan. How are you doing tonight?
So we were just talking about this before the show, and it's funny because you used to watch when I was on the Dentless Touch show, and then we were talking at MTE Vegas, and we were talking. You're like, man, I would love to come on and just talk dents, and I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And it's been a year and a half.
And I've liked you a few times on Facebook, like, hey, buddy, let's do it.
Hey, you know what? I've got a list of people that I've got written in a book, and I'm just knocking one off every week. You know what I mean? So it's like, we got to just make this happen. Or if a manufacturer calls in and they're like, hey, we got something new. Can you make something happen? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then that gets bumped.
Yeah.
But, what can you do? You're here now.
I'm here now, man. I appreciate the opportunity tonight. I've been really looking forward to this, Ryan.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
The ninja.
So the ninja himself.
Where are you out of? Like, where do you live?
So I'm in Portland, Oregon. So I'm on the West Coast.
You guys have all those protesters for like half a year there.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. Downtown Portland's crazy. Stuff's ripped down. There's protesting everywhere. There's graffiti everywhere. It's definitely not the same city it was a year ago. It's not.
It's 2020, baby. Anything's possible.
It's been a crazy ride this year.
Portland. Is it cold there?
No, it's usually raining. Right now it's nice and 75 out, 60, 75. Dude, it's perfect weather. Like, actually, my buddy Todd Dickerson just moved here to PDR because he loves Portland so much. He's like, I'm going to come hang out with you, James.
He likes the rain, huh?
He likes the rain.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Does that affect your work out there, or you just get used to it?
I get used to it. You know, you just kind of get used to it. I don't know if you've seen my Facebook post, but you see how like the other day I had a technician working for me. He had his umbrella up, he had another umbrella up, he had like another tent up. I mean, you just get used to it. You work around it. You go make money.
I think I saw you today doing a little dirt bike riding. Was that what you were doing earlier today?
Ah, no, that was yesterday. That was yesterday. That's one of those conversations about the beauty of owning your own business, being your own boss, working really hard. You get to go. Dude, I went dirt biking on a random Wednesday with a buddy of mine, another dent tech. You know, we just took the day off. We drove 2 hours away. We went riding. I crashed my bike 3 or 4 times, right? Like he would have just laughed, like just laugh. But like the beauty of that, like us as dent professionals, us as business owners, I took a Wednesday off and I went riding. I went and took, you know, a bucket list thing off and went riding for the day.
Look at that.
I thought nothing of it.
Yeah.
You
Were you
know,
answering the phone?
I did. I did get this. So I had a really slow week this week. I went up there and you know we'd stop about every hour. I scheduled 7 appointments for today and tomorrow, and I completely booked up my week next week just from taking the
Nice.
day off. You know, going riding, having fun.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was awesome. When are we gonna get you on a bike?
Never. Maybe a four-wheeler
I'll get. You
or
know
a side
what?
by side, but no dirt bikes for this little guy.
All right.
I'm a little top heavy.
You're looking good though. You just said you've
A
been
little
getting
bit. I lost.
healthier, man. You know,
Yeah. I lost a
like
little bit of weight.
like
I'm
you're
not done
looking
yet.
good.
We're getting there. I'll tell you, I feel
No,
better. I told somebody the other day. I said, you know, since COVID, I've been eating better and riding a Peloton, and I said, man, I feel like I'm 20 again.
yeah.
Like amazing on the joints. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. So, but before we get into your whole story, because I don't want to lose a whole lot of time, because I want to get as much information in here.
Okay.
Let's do some tools. The guys like the tools.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you go first.
So I got my ninja hanger because you know my buddy Dave made this for me after me so that I could have my own little
I didn't know
ninja
that.
hanger. Yeah. So he talked about having a tool for the dent dial flat bar, and I was up in Tacoma working this car lot, and I went to go use my dent dial, and it wouldn't fit. So I had the big dent dial, it wouldn't fit, you know, in the little holes. So I messaged him. I only messaged Dave once or twice on Facebook. I said, hey man, I need your number. I need to call you. Something's not right. So I call him, sends me his number, I call him, and I go, man, I'm trying to use my dent dial with your you know your hangers, and it's not working. And he goes, what are we talking about? Like they work, you know, because they were meant for the little ones. I go, no, they're not working. So I kid you not, man. I took down this piece of paper, wrote down some notes for it, sent it over to him. I'm like, dude, we need this. We need this little hanger because it didn't work for the flat bars. So he made this. He called it the Ninja Hanger. Gives me some love for it, and I love this little thing because you know it was just an idea. I just called him, and he just made it happen, made it work.
I've got one I've used.
Yeah, so it's because of me because
I didn't know that.
I
Now I'm just gonna think about you every time I use that thing. I'm gonna look at Shane and be like, the damn ninja.
oh god, you know how many times I hear the damn ninja?
Hey, I can tell you one thing. First time I saw your truck was at Mega Media event, and I was like, damn, he's got the Canyon rocking. It looks good.
Yeah, I get a, you know, it's funny you say that. Like today, I had somebody call me and goes, I took a picture of your truck a year ago. He called me. I went and fixed a couple dents for him, and he's like, I remember your truck from a year ago. He took a picture of it as I was driving by. It was in his phone, and he called me off of it. And you know, went and made a couple $100 from him. Really easy, really nice guy. The type of clients that you want. You know, if you could have an idea of the clients that you want, like that was the client.
Yep.
And you know, if you look a little bit better, if you project yourself a little bit better, there's definitely a difference between a guy driving around in an old Honda Accord. There's nothing wrong with that, man. My first
Got to
truck was,
start somewhere. Got
you
to
gotta
start
start
somewhere.
somewhere, man. My first truck was beat up. I had a, dude, when I went to my trade school, or when I went to my school, I had dents all over my truck, and I thought I was gonna fix them. I made them worse. Okay,
That's funny.
so this tool, you gotta have them.
Hold on, I
The
want to
bit,
touch on base on what you were just talking about the customer.
yeah, let's do
And
it.
it's funny because I had a customer this week, Tuesday or Wednesday. One of those customers that you're busy, you've got a
Yep.
very tight schedule, but I had such a good conversation with this guy for 1 hour, right?
Yeah.
He didn't even care about the price because we added more, I upsold some stuff there.
Yeah.
And I leave and he calls me up and he's like, I know I just spent $500, on some dents in my garage, but let me tell you, that was some of the best conversation I've had in a long time.
Isn't
He's
that
like,
cool?
I'll let you know when I have some more. And I'm like, bro, it was such a great, it was just, I left out of there and I was like, I lost an hour and a half at this guy that kind of put me off track, but just such a good conversation. You know what I mean? And what that does is he didn't feel bad spending the 500.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have that personal relationship with them to where he'll always call you and he's going to tell 10 different people, man, I had such a good conversation with this level-headed guy. I mean, he doesn't know me that well, but this level-headed guy and, did a great service. So,
Right.
That's it, man. Sometimes it's not always about the time or the money. I'm big on the relationship end.
Dude, I had a customer on Friday that had a 2005 Honda Pilot, had I think 640,000 miles on it.
Holy schmauzers.
And I quoted him 525. There was like a dent on the fender, just a couple little things around it, right?
I think we're losing his internet. Lost him. So, I think the Dent Ninja's frozen up. So, we're going to keep talking. Let's see what we got going on. The Dent Ninja is froze. It happens. He'll be back. So, anyway, I'm going to get into my tools. Got a couple of them here. I've talked about this thing, that little mini Reaper set. And let me tell you how fantastic this little boy is. I used the Dentcraft mini hook, the black handled mini hook all the time. It comes in that set of 5 tools. Fantastic set. This is the same diameter as the small one, but it is sharp. And it's got the ratcheting handle. You back? What's
I'm
going on?
back.
Just a little delay. That's no big deal.
Oh, dude, I'm so sorry.
Dude, I gotta pee. You can just,
I know.
Well, I was rambling about this tool. The
What
mini.
is that?
This is the mini Reaper set.
Okay.
It comes in 3 of these. This is the smallest one, but this thing replaced my little black Dentcraft hook. And what I use this a lot for is when you have the CRVs or the pilots with the dent in the quarter and you take the flare out, take the flare off, the new pilots and the new CRVs.
Yeah.
And you slide this in that little clip hole and you're all over everything in that quarter. This worked fantastic because you really didn't damage the hole.
Nice.
There's enough kick on here to where you got up in there and the ratcheting handle. So fantastic set. But I'm going to let you go back and finish what you got, and I can go back to mine after that, just in case you decide to take another pee break.
I didn't take a pee break. That's coming up. That's coming up next. So we're working on this guy's car, and he's like, we didn't know it had 600,000 miles on it, right? We had no idea. It was just an 05 Pilot. We work on it. We get done. He comes out just excited about it, right? And pays us for it, and then tells us like, man, it's got 600,000 miles on it. And we're like,
That's crazy.
what? We're like, what, bro, why are you spending this much money with me? I mean, thank you. Like, I appreciate it. Like, I appreciate it as a business owner, but I'm like in my head thinking, why are you doing this? And we didn't know that. And we threw in a couple little things on there. We took care of a couple extra spots that were near where he wanted taken care of. So get this, Ryan, I go to one of my body shops this morning, and the owner of the shop comes down to me, and she comes up to me and she's like, hey, I got an email about you last week. So I'm sitting there thinking
You're
like,
oh, shh.
yeah, I'm sitting there going like, oh shit, what did I do? This is like the principal coming and telling me like, something's wrong. So I go into her office and she's got this, email from this guy saying we did a great job, how fantastic we were, went above and beyond for him. And I'm like, man, this guy had 500, 600,000 miles on his '05 Pilot, through the roof excited about it.
That's what this is about.
Through the roof.
And you know what?
Huh?
He's going to tell 10 people.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If you do a great job, they'll tell 10 people. If you do a terrible job, they'll tell 100.
Just don't do a terrible job. You don't have to worry about it.
No, I'm I forget that I'm a really good technician. I joke and say I'm not, but I am.
Hey, I can just polish, dude. I'm really good at sand and polish. That's all.
Me too. I got Dave's hack pack in my truck at all times.
That's it. I'm not scared.
Yeah.
So what do you got in your hand there?
I am using John's Reaper set. I got his Angel tool set. And I have been loving it. Dude, I absolutely I just love these things. Like I replaced 3 door tools out of my bag that I was carrying around with this one, because it does everything. It does the left, does the right. John's not giving me any love like I wish he would. So I was telling Ryan about this. John Vidine has a Dent Reaper fanny pack. And get this,
fanny
Ryan,
pack.
I was in Utah with Mike and John and all those guys, and that's all I wanted. I wanted that stupid fanny pack of John's. I'm surprised I didn't steal it, actually.
So Vidine sounds like the Dent Reaper needs some fanny packs. I'll rock a Dent Reaper fanny pack.
That's what I said too. He needs to. I'm waiting for him to send me one. Every day I go to my mailbox and I just wait for him. But you got to use those Dent. So I got the Dent Reaper, the Angel set.
Yeah.
And I think it's on sale right now. It's normally $685. Right now it's like $639. You get 5 tools that are just phenomenally badass. Like you got to get those things, and get them to get you a fanny pack. Like, you need
order the set and get a free fanny pack.
I don't know why he doesn't do it, dude. It was the talk of the town. Like seriously, I'm in this mastermind group. I got all these other business leaders around me, and all I wanted was that fanny pack. Didn't care about anything else.
I didn't get on the fanny pack. I'm gonna call you tomorrow.
You got to get him to send me one. And then I actually have I can't show you because it's a prototype, but Dave Stream sent me the new hangers, and it solves all the problem. Or no, the hookers. I got the new hooker. I even got a little hookers. Yeah. And it solves all the problems that the old ones, like you didn't even know that there was problems until you use it. Like it's sweet. I can't wait for that thing to get out. I want to show it off, but he'll kill me if I do.
Yes, probably.
Yeah, he'll kill me. I can show you the old side, but not the new side. So those are it for my new tools. Is get John to send you a Dent Reaper fanny pack.
Fanny packs for all.
It's fanny packs for all. Yeah, no, it is.
We may have to do a Black Friday fanny pack sale.
Yeah, I think he sells them for $40.
$40.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe that? I know. He's making too much money.
So my second tool are these Excalibur black-handled screwdriver set. And let me tell you. So I've talked about these before. And I got a call from a competitor's body shop. Don't know why they called me First time there. Go there, and a body guy fixed a roof. And they call this body guy, his nickname is Hatchet. So just imagine what kind of body guy he is. I'm not talking bad, or I don't know any of these guys. So
Right.
But he's fixing a roof, and I guess he had his elbows on the in between the roof rail and the sunroof, and it was just like whacked. It was a new Corolla, and it was just creases and big lows, like a whole length of them. And it was I didn't feel like dropping the sunroof. I was being lazy. I fixed the whole roof with this tool and Glexo.
Okay.
Just slid up inside their brace that they have there and slid up in between the sunroof and the edge. And they worked really, really well. Pretty inexpensive set from Excalibur. I've been using a lot of their stuff. We had some hail, so I've been using them quite a bit, and they're fantastic, man. They really are. The other thing I have is it's not really a dent tool, but it's a tool that a lot of you guys could really use, and it's made from Mac Tools, and it says bit set, and it's got every bit you could think of in here for like $120 for this whole set, right? And everybody's like, $120 on bits. Do you know how many of these bits I've lost or broken? You know what I mean? And this literally has everything. We struggle with a tamper-safe bit that is one of the ones with the hole in the center when we were working on a car the other day. But for $120, man, I mean, this is fantastic. Comes in this nice little case. Mac Tools, R&I. I thought it was a good deal. So
now, if it's saving you time, it's making you money.
You know what? That's me. You know what I mean? It's all about time savings for me. So
Yeah.
And headache free.
You have no idea of how many times I see somebody that they don't use Mobile Tech RX, or they're not writing stuff down. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I get, and I'm not the best technician. I'm not the best business owner. I'm just a guy that's very good at what I do. But man, there's nothing worse than seeing somebody that's not charging enough, that's not creating enough value, that's not. That's actually probably one thing I wanted to bring up tonight, is what I love about like networking, like hanging out with you, hanging out with John. Like, man, we get to help each other be better business owners, be better technicians. We're making more money. So then we get to go home and we get to have a better family life. Like, what's that worth to you, Ryan? Like, you get to hang out with your kid a little bit more.
I mean, why not? You know what I mean? I mean, you'd be stupid if you didn't want to,
Right.
It I don't know, man. I say this all the time. We have a very unique industry. And there's some really good guys out there. I mean, just really good, just like you said before, the networking end of it, these tech meetups they were having before COVID, and MTE. And I tell guys all the time, if you're not going to MTE, you're losing. You're missing out, man. Just the techniques, what was it? Vegas. I think me and Vidine and a bunch of us Cliff. We were literally sitting at the bar area just talking business until like 4 a.m. You know what I mean? 4 a.m. And I flew across the country to get there. I was wiped out already, but it's priceless. Even my buddy that went with me to Vegas, that's not a dent guy, and was like, man, it's so crazy that you guys share information like that. And I'm like, it's a different world now. It wasn't like that before. You know what I mean? It was legitimately hide.
You know what? It's funny you say that, because I used to not want, like, I didn't want customers to watch me, because I didn't want them to see what I'm doing and take my business or something, or make it look too easy. But the new generation of technicians, like we want to help each other. We want each other to succeed. We want. I get in my area. I try to. I think I'm actually friends with all my competitors, like legitimately friends, like not just like I know that guy, but like I had one guy that, he came and got my house keys to let my cats out one time when I was out of town. Like, who does that?
Yeah,
This is my competitor, right? He met me somewhere a couple hours away so that he could get a key to come unlock my house. This is my
that's cool.
competitor. And like yesterday going riding, dude, I was with another dent guy. He's got another business.
Now,
We
I
went
got a
riding.
question for you.
Yeah.
So you go to a customer's house, you
Okay.
price a dent, say $350.
Yep.
You're fixing it, and you're done in a quarter of the time you thought it was going to take you. Do you sit there and act like you're doing something, or do you go in and say, "Look, I got it done faster," and do you leave the price the same? How do you handle that situation?
So I have a couple scenarios with this. I will I tell people that if it's going faster than expected, it's because everything's going right. I said if it's going longer, then that means there's something wrong, and it's the truth. If something goes fast, it's good. I'm doing the right things. I'm making all the right pushes. The metal's moving exactly like it's supposed to. So I usually go up there and say, "Hey, I'm done." Um, I know that, but I have a lot of value in our service. I know that dude, it's 10,000 hours to be good at it. So if it takes me half an hour, you know what? And I solve their problem. I'm solving this guy's problem. He's got a dent in his F350. Fix it for him. We leave. We solve the guy's problem. His wife's not upset anymore. Her husband's not upset anymore, and we're making a
But
living. Yeah.
you do get these customers that say, "Well, it didn't take you that long, so."
So you know what? The only time I get that, like I had this a couple weeks ago. I went to a customer's house. He put a dent on his roof on his CRV. Dent on the roof. It bent the antenna. He got a new antenna for it. I go, hey man, it's gonna be $500. I said, I don't want to work on your car. I really don't. So I did. I told him I don't want to work on your car to begin with. I don't want to do this in your driveway. Just something seems sketchy and weird about it. I go up to his house. He's in $1 million house, you know. And I had one of my guys with me, John, and we got it done in an hour and 45 minutes. And I told him, hey, it's probably gonna take 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. I don't know. So get this, Ryan. So we're working on the car. We break a clip. So I leave, go get a clip. John's working on it. I come back with a brand new clip for it, like because it has to be an OEM clip for it, for it to be there, like going above and beyond. I get done in an hour and 45 minutes. Mind you, Ryan, I don't want to be doing this then. I don't want to be taking down this guy's headliner. I don't want to be doing all of that. It wasn't good money in my eyes. So we get done with it. We get done in an hour 45 minutes. I wait another 5-10 minutes. I sent him a message. I knew he was on a conference call. He comes out, looks at it. Oh, it looks great, but I want to renegotiate your price because that's just too fast. Ryan, I'm at $1 million house because this is gonna sound terrible, but if I get somebody to send me their info, I'll look it up on Zillow and just be like, oh, I wonder, I wonder what this customer's like. $1 million house. He's like, I'm a lawyer, my wife's a doctor. Those are the only people that complain. He complained. And I'm like, no, man, I told you it was $500.
I got two guys here.
I got two guys here. I went and bought a clip that was $3, but it took, cost me $5 to drive. So I think it's fair. I don't really have the sympathy like I used to. Now, Ryan, if you would have asked me that, 3 or 4 years ago, I probably would have hemmed and hawed, been like, yeah, this went really fast. I'll knock off $50, but my time's valuable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even and you're right, because it's two guys. It's $500, but it was 2 hours. It was two
Mhm.
guys. So by the time I start breaking it down, I would have much rather go fix a door ding for $125. And
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Now, Danny Espinal's asking, do you charge a service fee?
so I'm wondering what he's asking it for, like to go look at it, to like just a flat fee. I don't charge like a fee on it.
I don't either.
Uh,
There are
um,
times that I sit back and I mean, I don't do any drive-by estimates.
So okay, so I won't go drive by a car and look at it. My non-negotiables, I gotta have a picture. You
Mhm. Me
gotta
too.
send me a picture
Me too.
so that I know what I'm working with. And because I get people to say, I got a ding, and I go, well, i- a ding to me is the size of a quarter or smaller. Is it a quarter or smaller? No, it's bigger.
Yeah. I get this. It's a really small dent. I'm telling you, it's really, really small. And I'm like, look, sir, my small and your small are two different smalls. My
Yeah.
small is the size of a dime. And
Yep.
he's like, oh, no, it's much bigger than that. It's like the size of a football. And I'm like, okay, now we're on the same playing field.
Yeah.
And
I-
I get customers to where they're like, I'm not going to send you a picture. You're never going to see it. And I'm like, well, let me determine if I can see it or not.
I know.
And you know what I use? And I'll put it out there. There's an application. It's called, let me look. It's called PixArt. Okay. And
Okay.
what PixArt is, you can edit photos and all this.
Yeah.
But what I do is there's a feature in there. And if you guys have ever worked on CCC or anything in the body shop, in CCC, you can invert that photo and make it a negative. So PixArt lets you invert that photo.
Okay.
When you invert the photo, when you get a white car in the sun and you can barely see the dent, when you invert it, it shows that dent. Really, really good. Really, really good. So check it out. It's called PixArt. Let me see if I can bring one over. It's a free app. You don't have to pay for it. There's no cost. But I use it all the time for photos, just to kind of hold on one second. I'm trying to do a photo here for you guys to get an idea what I'm talking about. But it's fantastic. And I won't go. I'll lose a customer over not sending me a photo.
So I will say though, I had a lady a couple weeks ago. She calls me and she's like, I'm 87 years old. I'm back. Oh, that's awesome.
See how it inverts it?
Yeah, so you can
To where
see
you
it
can kind of
clearly.
see the dent.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of options to where you can change the saturation. So I adjust those photos all the time just to see the crownage. But go ahead and go back to what you were saying.
So I think it's out of innocence too. Either when somebody doesn't want to send you a picture, they're embarrassed, or it's out of innocence. Because they don't know. They're not in it every day. They're
Yeah.
not. They don't fix dents all day long. They don't know. You can't fault them for that. It's just like stuff with us going to the doctors, going to our lawyers, doing our taxes. There's stuff we don't know, and it's out of innocence. That being said, though, I did have a lady a couple weeks ago that was like, I think she was like 87, 88 years old, and she's like, I can't get a picture. I have nothing to do. And I was like, if I go out there and it's something I can do, I'm gonna have to charge you for it. Are you gonna pay me for it? She's like, if it's something that you can fix, I'll pay you for it. So I went up there, something I could fix. She paid me for it. And it was a great scenario. But that was only because she said, hey, I'm 87, 88 years old. I really don't know how to work a
Yeah.
phone. She called me 3 or 4 times too. And she's like, I'll meet you somewhere. And it's just hard though.
It is.
We
It is.
we have days that there's days we make so much money. It's silly.
Yeah.
And then there's days that we don't make anything.
Yep. You know, it's, I don't know. I can kind of tell the customer. I kind of read the customer from the minute they call,
Yeah.
you know, and sit back, and if they're like, yeah, no problem, I have a photo ready. That a lot of times means they've already talked to another company.
Yeah.
Or, you know, okay, yeah, I'll get you a picture later this evening when I do a lot of military, a lot of government, so they can't, you know, go out to their car. And so I don't really worry about that. But, or you get them, yeah, I can't take pictures. Yo, it's 2020 and my father-in-law is 60 some years old and figured out how to use an iPhone. Come
Yeah.
on, man.
Well, and that's just it. Like I remember when I switched over to doing mobile tech RX, you know, and I used to carry a printer in my car with me.
So did I. I still do. There's a printer in my truck right now for Mobile Tech RX. Some of the places have to have it printed, and I just print it.
So I do that as a non-negotiable. Like everyone has an email address. I haven't ran across anybody that doesn't. That's my non-negotiable. My non-negotiable is they gotta have a picture though before.
Yeah.
I won't even give them a price to say, oh, what's a ballpark?
Nope.
I have no idea.
Nope.
I
I tell them a 150 to 4,000, and they're like, "Whew."
you know what? I say it as it's. I'm doing you a disservice if I give you a number. I said
Yeah.
because if it's super high, then you're going to be mad at me, and if it's super low, then I just shot myself in the foot.
Now, do you get the customers like aluminum F-150, nasty crease, like about this big? And I'm like, it's going to be about $250. And they're
Yeah.
like, whoa, what? And I'm like, well, we've got a couple factors here. And what the factors are, you got laminated glass,
Yep.
aluminum door.
Yeah.
I said, just to give you an instance, you know, an average dime-sized door ding in the middle of a regular metal door without laminated glass is $150.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Hey, and I don't know about you. You know what, Ryan? Get this. Or do you mind if I go off topic on this one?
not at all.
Okay, so I had a Jordan Lopez, Mike Toledo student, come and hang out with me for I think 10 days, after class, and I had him. So after schooling, you know, he came over to my house. He's from Colorado. He came and spent 10 days up here with me, and I threw him to the wolves, man. I made him work on every bad scenario dent he could. I mean, I had this poor kid outside my house at 10 o'clock at night working on like this O2 WRX. You know, I'd wake him up at 6 o'clock and I took him to wholesale lots. I took him to retail lots. I did all this crazy stuff with him, but I took him to an F-150 aluminum laminated glass. And I think I quoted the guy 275, and he was a referral. He was cool with it. And I drove up and I looked at Jordan. I'm like, dude, this is gonna suck. Like, it's just gonna suck. We had every tools out of my all my tools out of my truck on the ground. There was probably 50 tools lined around, heat on it, sharp tools, just you name it. And I threw this kid to the wolves, like working on this aluminum door, and it sucked. And I'm so glad he got to see it suck because those things suck to work on.
Yes. I hate
They,
F-150s.
I kind of were. I don't like doing them. I tell people I don't like doing them. They're not easy to do. It's like if it was a BMW, sure, $100, not a problem. $150, yeah. If it's super easy, let's do it.
Yeah.
And you know what? How many customers do you alienate because you're spending time working on a car that's hard to fix?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by
Okay,
alienate?
okay, or maybe not alienate, but like, so like if you're working on this one customer's car that you can't really fix, how many other customers are driving right by you with like cars that you can fix that are going to turn out flawless, that you're going to be able to glass,
Every day.
they're going to be so happy, you
Every
know,
day.
uh, you know, so I look at it, that scenario that I'm okay with not getting every customer,
Oh,
not every,
you know what? I've learned over the
yeah,
years. I used to be that guy. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. But you know what? And it even kind of this year really solidified itself, I guess, the last 2 years. And I remember hearing John Hiley say this all the time: fix less cars for more money.
Mm-hmm.
Pick your clientele. And that's where I am. I'm at that clientele of, I'm not fixing the 2002 Altimas, the old Camrys. Now it's the nicer stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't mind. I really don't mind fixing less cars for more money. And I tell some of the customers, I'll tell, I'm not the cheapest, or they'll call and they'll be like, oh, I'm just price shopping, you know, just, I'm like, man, you're honest, you know? And I'm like, well, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I'm the most expensive guy in town. But when you leave, you're going to be extremely happy. And I'm going to feel really good about myself when you leave, just because I know the repair is done correctly.
It's funny. I don't know how many jobs I've gotten. I've had other technicians in my area that I've charged more than them, and they're like, can we go to Storyland for a second? Story time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your show.
So I have my buddy Paul Eddy, and his company is the Dent Guys up in Camas, Washington. And he quoted a job for like $225. I quoted the same job for $275. And I'm like, hey, Paul, come with me. I think I need your help on this car. It's over by your house. Like, come help me, right? So his car's not logoed up. He helps me on this dent. We get $275 on it instead of his $225, right? So I charged an extra $50. Not a big deal. We leave. Paul gets a message from this guy. The customer has no idea who he is. You know, no, his car's not logoed. And you know how logoed up my truck is. And he goes, hey, don't worry about it. I'm not going to get the dent fixed. Literally just fix the guy's dent for more money than what he quoted. It's crazy, man. People are crazy.
Yeah.
People are crazy. And but we get to add value to their lives, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, that's it. Oh, go. Yeah. I'm cutting you off.
It's tough, man. And Danny's in here, you know, and if you guys don't know Danny, he's a fantastic tech. Just one of those guys in the industry. We need guys like Danny.
Danny is a phenomenal person.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
He's one of those guys that's a friend that you can count on. Like, you know, if we could can we clap for Danny?
Yeah.
Let's do it, man.
So, and what he's saying is you need to learn to say no. And my wife has pushed me on that. You know, she's pushed me to where, you know, it'll be in the evening and I'm looking at this email and I'm like, she's like, what? And I'm like, look at this. And I show her and she's like, nope. You know, because I would be the guy that would try to fix everything. I would take everything on. But I don't know. I guess I'm getting old and just like, nope. And then I'll see one of my competitors fixing it. And I'm like, you know, still gets me a little bit. I'm like, man, I should have fixed that thing. But you know what? I fixed 4 cars in that same time plan. You know what I mean? So,
but that makes you a better business owner than a technician.
Yes. Yeah.
And let's face it, do you want to be a better technician or do you want to be a better business owner?
I think you need to be 50-50.
You know what? So, like hanging out with Mike and John in our mastermind group last week, or maybe it was 2 or 3 weekends ago. I think that kind of opened up my eyes of it's more important to be a better business owner if you want to go to the next level.
Yeah.
You know, because what we think is like my 80% is probably my customer's 95%.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I hear it all the time. I do a bunch of enterprise stuff, you know, at my body shops. I don't do work directly for enterprise. And I see the main guy from enterprise come around and he's like, you know, he'll look at the car and he's like, and he's like, you got to remember, it just needs to be 80%. Yeah. You don't have to make these things perfect, Ryan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, it's not perfect. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's I don't know. we do what we can. And one thing I think in our business, and I said this, I had a contractor doing some work for me, and looked at Shane and I was like, this guy just doesn't have passion for what he does. Like, you can just tell, he's a get it up, get it done, waist high guy. And I was like, for me, it's difficult because I have so much passion for everything that I do, in the business, on the business, and you can see a difference.
Yeah. And those are the customers you want.
Yeah.
You don't want, you don't, I mean, we love people, but man, you don't want the customer that goes, it's just a dent, don't worry about it.
I'll tell you a story. And this is,
okay.
I don't know if I'm a smart business guy or not. So I have this couple. The husband is retired Secret Service off of the presidential, he handled the vice president and the president, Secret Service. Yeah. His wife is just retired FBI from DC. Fixed their car last year. Very, very wealthy. Had a Volvo, super high maintenance customer, took care of them. Called me back. They bought an S550 used. They're getting ready to move to Florida. So they drive from DC today, and it is pouring. I mean, it is legitimately like hurricane, 50-mile-an-hour winds, and it is just dumping. And this is how good of a customer. I mean, they're so educated. If I could go to dinner 3 times a week, I think I would really learn a lot from this guy because he's had so much experience just in life and in real life stuff, military, and, moved up through the ranks. And this guy, I'm standing outside today and it's pouring down rain. And I'm thinking in my head, let's go inside and talk. But it's COVID. He's wearing a mask. I'm wearing a mask. We're being super safe. Nobody really wants to be inside. Some people are weird about it. And they have like the dog leg on the quarter. And he's like, man, somebody did like some shoddy body work here. And I got down and I could see where they broke a blend. And there's a dent in the rear door.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I just don't know what to do. Do you think you can fix that up for us? And I'm like, look, I'll be honest with you. It's a black S550, really clean. Let's just buff this little section of the dog leg. And why paint it? Why? I was at the body shop and I'm like, why paint this thing over that little bit? It's down low.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, all right, that's what I thought. And I'm like, what? He's like, I just needed a nudge. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, I just needed somebody that knew what they were talking about. And I trust you.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I hate that you're leaving. They're moving to Florida because she just retired. He goes, but let me tell you, all of her family lives in this area that's by my shop. And, just one of those customers that I gave money away. I could have made money right there. But at the end of the day, I don't really care.
But
they'll be back.
Yeah, and that's not the.
It's not always about money. That's how I look at this all the time.
It's not. There's moments where you gotta put yourself out there, and you know what? Speaking of, it's not always about money, dude. I was at a Starbucks before I came over here, or hopped on here, and I go through the line. I tell them, hey man, I want my iced black coffee, sugar-free vanilla. I need 2 of them because I got to get Michelle one because she took the boys off so that they weren't running around tonight. And he gives me one. I go, hey man, I need a second one. He goes, it's on us. I'm like, no man, I want to pay for it, right? I'm like, let me pay for it. No, we messed up. It's on us. Like, you got it, right? So I'm like looking around my truck trying to find some cash. All I had are 20s on me. So I, give him the 20. Hey man, thanks for the coffee. Put this in the tip jar. You should have saw this guy's eyes just light up, like the genuine joy over $20, like just joyful. Are you sure? Yeah, man, keep it. You made my night. You gave me a free coffee. And that guy's gonna. Somebody says, "Oh, I got a dent or a scratch in my car." Well, you see that dent ninja guy? That's the guy I would trust. That's the guy I would go to.
Yep.
Do you ever? I don't know if you do this. I'm sure you do it in your area because you're a marketing savage.
Come on now.
No,
I
this
can
is
just
the guy.
polish well.
This is the guy that I still got little screenshot pictures of you, doing like your $20 coupon on your business cards.
Yeah.
It's genius. Or, you go up and you give somebody like a $5 coffee card somewhere.
Yep.
Do you know how much work I get from giving people coffee cards?
Oh, it's crazy.
It's
crazy.
unbelievable how many times I will get somebody like, oh, that guy gave me like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we have a niche business, but it's a people business.
Now I
Would
got
you
a little
care?
tip for you. A
Okay.
new little hustle.
Oh, shoot. Let's
So
hear it.
I'm gonna give it out. So
Okay.
you take the gift cards, so you buy
Yeah.
whatever Subway or Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or whatever, and have your sticker guy just print a little mini business card and stick it on the gift card.
Okay. I like
And
that.
your information's on there, even though they're gonna get rid of it at the end of the day. But every
Yeah.
time they use it, they're seeing your logo and your phone number and your website on that card. And the person they're handing it to is looking at it saying, okay.
Well, and I mean, like, think about it this way too. Like, you give somebody a $5 something, right? They're going to put it in their wallet.
Mm-hmm.
They might not use it that day. They're going to go to the bank, do a transaction, boom, pops up. James with Dent Ninja, got to get my dents fixed.
Yep.
Ryan with RPS, it pops up, it blinks.
Yep.
Well, it's like you have your shirts that you hand out. I hand out more stickers than anything else. I literally just give guys stickers all the time.
That's good.
They're like, "Do you got a business card?" I'm like, "I don't have a business card, but I got like 15 stickers. Let me put them on your toolbox real
Anything.
quick."
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's my big hit last year was the clipboards.
I remember you telling me about that. I remember being at oh gosh, where were we? We
Mega
were at the
Media.
mobile Mega Media. Yeah, and
The
I don't know.
clipboards, they were really expensive, but you know how nice it is when you get a picture from a body shop to get an estimate and it's your web address and everything on the line board, and you're like, thank you.
Yeah. Well, you are doing just a phenomenal job, Ryan. Man, I know you usually do this for everyone else. You give everyone else kudos, but dude, you seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I love what you do. You're an inspiration in our community.
I try.
I
It's
know
been
with
fun.
I know with COVID this year, you can't be in everyone's faces with your mic.
Hey.
But dude, what an inspiration! I mean, can we do a clap for you, Ryan? I don't have a clap button. Let's do a clap button on yours.
I got a clap button. Here you go.
Let's do that clap button.
No, it's been fun, man. It's you guys keep coming back every week,
Yeah. Are you blushing over there? Do I see a little blush? A little bit.
Maybe. I'm Irish.
All right.
I'm Irish. So, it's I don't know. We're gonna see what happens towards the end of the year with MTE, and I talked to the Dent Reaper today, and we were talking about Branson, and he's like, man, nobody really came. It's I don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen. I talked to a lot of guys that were like, if we have to wear masks, we're not coming. But it's so early in the year. There's so many chain of events that could happen that things could change. So, it's a weird year, dude. And we were talking the other day, and we were like, a lot of guys have had such a fantastic year.
Yeah. Well, you are. Dude, you're gonna have a great year, and you got 7 weeks of your life back.
7 weeks. It was fantastic. I looked at my wife. I was like, man, if I could take 7 weeks off and still make good money, what have I been doing wrong for 20 years? Shit. And it's crazy. Right now, I would be on a Disney cruise, the Halloween Disney cruise with my wife and my daughter right now.
Okay.
But COVID. Got COVIDed.
I started my dent journey like 9 years this weekend, because Halloween weekend.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. I got laid off from a job, and they told me that they'll lay me off if I go back to school.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So every time Halloween comes by, I'm like, oh, yeah,
Who trained you?
So I went to Superior Auto Institute
Brian
and
Jump.
Ryan Jump, and hanging out, doing my classes, and then hanging out with like Jordan a couple weekends ago. There's definitely a big difference. Like Jordan was me 2 years in.
Yeah.
I appreciate for Brian for I appreciate Brian for what he got me started.
Yeah.
But I definitely can tell that, like Mike's training was
Yeah.
phenomenal for Jordan. He came over to my house and he was teaching me things.
There's a couple. There's a couple. I look at the training world right now,
Yeah.
and it seems like there's a lot of different levels.
Yeah.
I was trained by Mike Seawald, and that was a Dent Wizard.
Okay.
Fantastic trainer.
Well, that wasn't all my training though. I did have another guy help me locally.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay, but keep going. Sorry, I'm sorry, man.
I think there's just a lot of different levels. You know what I mean? I mean, Mike's training's fantastic. He's got it narrowed down. He really does. Mike Seawald is really good. I mean, I sent Shane to Top Gun, Marty.
I've heard he's really good.
He's more of the mental. He's more of, he figures you out, and then he really, really knows how metal works. I've figured it out over the years. You really have to understand that when you're fixing the big complex stuff, you really have to understand how metal moves, where it goes, why it does that. And that's helped me. I mean, it's helped me to know, okay, yeah, that's definitely stretched. I definitely know when something's not going to come out before I start.
Yeah. But there's guys, like I work with a guy named Dustin Finger, and he's self-taught, and he does. I mean, we were talking about this. Me and him were talking about it last night. He would listen to Mike's podcast. He'd go to sleep, listen to Mike's podcast, and he was self-taught, and he is a phenomenal tech.
Scott Simpson, he learned off of Dent Trainer. Fantastic tech.
Yeah, and actually, it's kind of there's another good local guy, John, that is in my area, and he goes on Dent Trainer, and he gets a lot better from that. He'll kind of harp on me like, you're not doing that right. You're not doing that right. Like, this isn't how it says online.
When is the internet ever right?
The internet's right all the time. I had you painted as like a unicorn from the internet. Like,
come on now, I'm just a hacker.
I say that all the time.
And it's funny. The first time we met, you were like, "Oh, you got these fancy shirts." I just got this ironed-on shirt. I remember that. You were like, "I got these crappy little shirts," and I'm like,
"I do.
They work, dude."
Yeah, that's true.
You don't need fancy. You know what I mean? You just need to look professional.
You know what? Even on like that topic, like everyone's definition of success is different, but failure is all the same.
Yep.
My success was I got to go riding with my buddy yesterday. My fiance gets, she stays home with our 2-year-old. Like they went shopping today and got him a dinosaur costume. If I could put that picture up here, I would, because it's just the cutest thing ever. But that's my success.
Yeah.
When I hang out with John Hiley or in our mastermind group, they're talking about 50 other things, and I'm like, I'm just hoping to get this new account.
Yeah.
But I'm also the little fish in that big pond. So.
Well, I mean, it's a stepping stone, man. It's yeah. It take a lot of information and try to put it all together. And I really think, I'll be honest with you, I think in our business, passion is what propels you. How much you put into it. I get a call, and it's been lately. It's been a lot, even a lot more the last probably 3 months. When I was closed for 7.5 weeks, I wasn't sitting on the beach with my toes in the sand. You know, I literally, and my wife said it the other day, and she's like, you really put a lot into it. And what I did was I sat in front of the computer for 3 to 4 hours every single day and push myself to learn new things. You know, the Facebook post, the Instagram post. What I really dove in was I grabbed all these women that I know and I said, I'm going to send you all these pictures and tell me what you like. And I'm sending them before and afters. I'm sending them pictures of me. I'm sending pictures of this, that. And then I took everybody's information and started doing photos like that.
Yeah.
Because if you just do before and afters, it's great portfolio of what you can do. But the average person, they don't understand what they're looking at.
And they don't care.
Yeah.
You know what? I got my teeth kicked in from John about this, about, you know, don't advertise to other dent guys. You know, you're not my customer. You're not our customer. You know, dent guys are not.
Nope.
You know, you need to advertise to the
Public.
Soccer mom.
Yep.
You know, you need to advertise to the guy that has, you know, extra income.
They don't know.
You know, don't advertise to the dent guy. I love you, dent guys. I appreciate you, dent guys, but you're not my customer.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
You know?
it's I really put a lot into it, and then I realized that other people realized it. You know, Maria called from A1 and she's like, what are you doing? Like, what apps are you using? And what do you know? And I'm like, well, I'm using this all together.
Yeah.
You know, and I say this all the time. People want to deal with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I get customers all the time, like shops that I've done for a long time, and they're like, you're the business. You're the business. You know what I mean? You're the RPS, even though I have, you know, guys, you're the business. And I'm like, yeah, but, you know, kind of hold you back too.
You know what? I sent one of my guys to go do something for me today, and then he left, and that shop called me to have him go back and do more stuff. But you're kind of like awkwardly like, you know, you're making money, but you're sending phone calls and you're doing stuff, and you're getting your customers taken care of because, you know, logistically he was somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I was able to duplicate myself in that, but I'm very blessed that, you know, I have some guys that I network with, and they're very, very good to me.
You know what I mean? I think it's a level of trust. You know, like now Shane's been with me for 2 years, and now my shops trust him. When I send them somewhere, they don't doubt him. You know what I mean? They sit back, they're like, okay, yeah, Shane wrote it, no big deal. Or yeah, Shane took care of it, or whatever. It's that level of trust, and it's very hard for shops. You know, they've been using me for 15 years, and it takes a while for them to get comfortable.
Well, even, you know, you as a consumer, you know, if you have some, you know, you work with your same barber for 10 years, it's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's the consumer in you.
Yeah.
You can't fault them. I mean, you know, it's the consumer. We just kind of I say that a lot to my customers. I say, you know, if I could have done it over again, I don't know if I would do it again, because we can't duplicate ourselves.
Yeah. It's hard. I wish if I had 3 of me, Dent Wizard in Maryland, you better watch out.
But would you really want 3 of you?
I would love 3 of me.
I would hate 3 of me.
Oh my gosh, I would love it. We would get so much done.
No, we would. You know what? 3 of me would not get stuff done. I need the opposite of me to get the other things done. You know, when I try to work with other dent guys or other business owners and stuff, I try to find what their special gifts are, what they're unique at, what they're really good at. Like, I'm terrible at pictures. Ryan, you'd be my best friend at pictures. But I bet there's some gifts that my business does, and my special business sauce that would just blow you out of the water.
That's why I love like MT. Because everybody picks something up. You always, let me try that. Or they'll reach out the week after, hey, send me a picture of that coupon card you do.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking through our old Facebook messages trying to find your email, and I found stuff that I sent to you that I was using. I think I sent it to you last year.
Yep.
So I'm gonna do this. We need to get another episode together here in the next few months because I really want to get into your story, but we really got into some really good topics tonight. So I don't want to lose that. So you're definitely going to come back on here.
I would love to be,
because we got into some good stuff tonight.
Good. I hope I add some value to anybody. And
so I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
For the new guys that are watching, give them a tip they can help them throughout their daily.
So like new guys, 1 or 2 months in.
Anybody. Just give them a gem.
Oh.
I'm going to go first, and I'm going to let you think. I'm putting you to the test right now. So mine is persistence. And what I mean by persistence is you go into a new account, you knock on the door, you get blown out. Okay. Mm-hmm. You get back in your truck and you're like, I'm never going to get this thing. Never going to get it. And you keep going in every week. Every week you go in, you're like, I don't know if I'm going to get this. I'm not going to get this. I've learned if you go in 6 or more times, almost every single time you end up getting that account because they sit back. For one, they get to know your name. For two, they are like, okay, this guy's serious. It's just not some guy passing through. And my instance isn't more towards like dealership stuff. I had a body shop that was a Caliber. And I went in and he's like, I've been using this guy for 15 years. He's the best. And I'm like, okay, well, look, when he's on vacation or whatever, here's my card. Kept going in. Well, he got moved to a Caliber that I already had that was out of the area where this guy goes. And he looked at me and he was like, you know why I called you? And I'm like, no. He's like, because you never stepped on his toes. You never sat here and said, well, I'm better or whatever. Yeah. You respected him and you were persistent. And I was like, that's it. So persistence wins. Even though you're getting your teeth kicked in, head down, keep going.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, and you know what? We don't. So I am going to have to say, know your worth. You know, if you're a new guy, you need to know your worth because there's nothing worse than going into a new account and chopping everyone down, chopping the industry down. Know your worth. Even if you're not there yet, at least know like, hey, I'm valuable. Because I think new guys, they have this scarcity mindset. And we have a mindset that like I like to go with the abundance mindset. I like hanging out with people that have an abundance mindset. Mm-hmm. Because people with abundance mindsets, you know, they're the first ones that they'll give you the shirt off their back. They won't think twice about it. They'll do whatever you need to do. But that being said, though, you know, you need to have an abundance. There's an abundance of work. There's an abundance of clients out there. Mm-hmm. And you need to know your worth of what you are adding so much value to somebody's life. You're solving their problems. And to me, Ryan, you want to know, besides like, you know, getting married and like sex, one of the best forms of intimacy that there ever is?
Time.
Transactions.
True.
You know, they're taking their time to have a transaction with you. You know, there's intimacy in every transaction.
True.
You know, John Vidine spent an hour with me figuring out which tools I needed. Now, granted, I cornered him in Utah and said, "Motherfucker, you're doing this with me." But you know, that was I said, man, you know, when you sit down with me, I'll buy whatever you tell me to buy. And I did. He said, you need this one? I didn't think twice about it.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize I spent $600 until I got my email.
But gotcha. And no fanny pack.
Dude, next time you talk to him, that is messed up. I was hinting. I hinted to Sally. I'm like, hey Sally, could you get me one of these? I mean, I hinted. I practically begged.
Beg for a fanny pack. Things are getting scary in 2020. Holy schmauzers.
Yeah, like the whole time. So I rode my motorcycle from Portland, Oregon to Utah, and I actually went to the wrong national park. I went to Moab, and I was supposed to be in Zion.
How far is that?
It's 5 hours. So Friday morning, I'm looking at the thing. Sean puts a post like, hey, what's the address? So I pull up the address, and I'm like, Angela sent a link. Like, this is where we're going. And I'm like, I wonder where we're at. And it dawns on me. I'm looking at my phone. I'm in Moab. It's beautiful. Like, went riding there, went and got coffee. Just beautiful. Look at my phone. I'm 5 hours away. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm 5 hours away from them, realizing that, I went to the wrong national park. So I hopped on my bike and I rode through Utah. I think it was like a Thursday. Rode through Utah on this Thursday, went through other national parks, made it to Zion. And Johnny still didn't give me that stupid fanny pack.
So where can guys find you on social media? You don't have an Instagram page either.
You know what? I don't.
Very disappointed.
And actually, you want to hear another reason why that's so disappointing? Have you ever gotten yelled at by Mike Toledo?
No.
Like straight up, like yelled at?
No.
Like when I got the 3rd degree from Mike Toledo about my Instagram and my Facebook and my social media posts. So I will get on that. But I got my my dentninja.net website. I got my Facebook page. I will get you an Instagram so that my next conversation with you have that. So we got
Yeah,
an
I was very
Instagram.
shocked. I was trying to tag you, and I'm like, this dude doesn't even have Instagram.
This dude doesn't even have Instagram. You know what? I had somebody that messaged me. They're like, we saw you on Instagram, so I don't know how I got on there, but that's all right. I'm a terrible business owner, man. It's
You're doing just fine, man. You're doing just fine.
no,
The good thing I do like to see is you're investing in yourself, and I like to see that. You're a very enthusiastic person, and it was nice to see how excited you were at the Mega Media event. And then you signed up for the Mega Minds, and it's good to see people investing in themselves, and they're not like, man, this is a lot of money.
you know what?
It's like a tool.
So you don't know this, but I did the Habit Finder group with Paul Blanchard and Dave Blanchard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So actually, I was doing doing 2 mastermind groups basically all year long. So I did the one with John Hiley and Mike Toledo, and then we did another one with Dave and Paul. So almost every week I was spending an hour doing Zoom calls with these guys. And it was so weird how like they would go hand in hand with each other.
Yeah.
And that one was based on working on habits, changing daily habits. Just like you were talking about how you stopped drinking soda and you lost 37 pounds, right? Like that's one habit, tiny habit. Dude, little habits will change a business.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You make an extra $10 a day, $20 a day, $100 a day. Those habits are just valuable, so valuable.
100%. 100%.
And I still have bad habits that I need to kick, but I'm working towards them. I'll get my Instagram so you can tag me.
Need to get that Instagram. Get that Instagram. And you guys, I just saw this today. I got the email. Go on MTE website and vote for the guys that are out there doing stuff. They've got a lot of stuff out there that you can put your information in for guys that you want to vote for the awards in our industry. I know last year it was super cool to see guys winning stuff, and they were super surprised that people vote for them. So a lot of guys in this industry do really, really good things, and and keep all of us going. I watch Manny's PDR stuff every day, and it's fantastic to watch a guy grow his business and keep going through. So get on their website and vote for somebody. That's all. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're going to come back on. We're going to do your story. Like I said, we got into some really good conversation today. So I want to get your story on and
All right.
I think it'll be some good value.
Well, I would love to do that. And I'd love to add some value to some technicians and help them succeed and truly see them. That's so cool when you help somebody grow.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's been fun. You know,
Yeah.
it's been a lot of fun. You
Yeah.
enjoy your night
You too, brother.
and wash your damn hands.
All
See
right,
ya.
man. See you, buddy. Take care.
What a great guy. You know, like I said, we've been talking for a while. It's been a year and a half. And I'm glad to get him on. We could sit here for 3 more hours, but I got to work in the morning. So in the hurricane rain. But look, guys, like I said, go to MTE, vote for your people. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. And like I said, we're also going to do my 2nd annual Black Friday tool marathon. It's a ton of work, but it helps those manufacturers and you guys get to see some new tools and some deals. So stick with me. You guys have a great week. Crush it out there for Friday. And keep it real. Thanks for watching. And I will see you guys next week. Same time, same place. Enjoy your afternoon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.